Hey, Trainer Weaves here with this week's Pokemon Go Weekly News Roundup. Right now, it is Rayquaza weekend. So, Tier 5 raids, get out there, get your Rayquazas. Ice counters are your best bet, followed by Dragon. Not much else to say there. So, get your teams together and go! Next week, Tuesday, 19th March, the Equinox event starts. Now this is going to feature grass Pokemon, and we will get boosted grass types. We will get grass types in raids. We will get grass-themed field research. And a bunch of Pokemon with new moves. They haven't told us if we're going to get a new shiny, but the graphic does feature Oddish, so maybe if we get a new shiny, it'll be Oddish. Lunatone and Solrock will be switching hemispheres, so if you live where I do and you've been seeing Solrock around in the wild for the past, I think it was a year, you're gonna see Lunatone instead. If you've been hanging on to Lunatone or Solrock for trades, get rid of them! Get that bag space back. Because everyone who couldn't get one will be able to get one from next week, and those will stay after the event. As for the new moves, a whole bunch of Pokemon will be getting Acid Spray, and I've got those listed here. And Victory Bell and Shiftry will be getting Leaf Tornado. Hooray! I guess. Over in X-Raid news, we will be getting a new Deoxys form. This one is Defense Forme, so it has ridiculously high defense, terrible attack, terrible speed. But because Pokemon Go raids are mostly about beating the clock, due to its high defense, you are going to need at least 5 trainers, unless you're a super hardcore player, in which case I'm not sure why you're watching me. But you'll probably need 5 trainers in order to beat Deoxys Defense Forme. If you're not sure what X-Raids are, I have a video that goes through those, and I will link that below. Quick reminder, if you haven't had an X-Raid invite or you're not sure how to get those, all you really need to do is do raids on the gyms that are marked with EX-Raid in the top right-ish corner. If enough accounts have done a raid during the time period, you should get an invite for roughly the next week or so. When it comes to X-Raids, we had Mewtwo for a year, and then switched to Deoxys on roughly the anniversary of when Mewtwo came out. And because Deoxys has 4 forms, seems like Niantic are changing every 3 months to fit within a year. So, you can expect this to be around for another 3 months. Some good news for Indonesian trainers, if you're level 40, you can now submit Pokestops. And I'm plonking a little segment in these This Week videos from now on, which will be my thoughts on the game this week. Basically, I'm here to say I did not get tickets to the Shiny Shuckle event in Singapore, so I guess I'm gonna have to figure out where a Shuckle nest is going to be nearby, so I get my shiny. But also last week we had the first legendary lunch hour raid session, and it wasn't great. I went out, met up with a group of people to do a bunch of raids. 3 of our town gyms have been knocked out by X-Raids, so they didn't spawn anything. The way it worked for anyone who missed it is that every gym, aside from the X-Raid ones, spawned an egg at 11:50, and then there was a raid available. The current Tier 5 raid boss was available for the next hour. For the gyms that had a raid on at 11:50, as soon as that raid finished, it spawned an egg, and then that egg 10 minutes later spawned a Tier 5 raid. So every available gym did get a Tier 5 raid. But an hour isn't really long enough, and having everything concentrated at once means that people who aren't involved in the community group can't really find where you are, because everyone is moving around from place to place. Basically, we started in the town center, then we went to one of the slightly outside the town ones, so if anyone was wandering around town 10 minutes after they started, we were gone. So it seems to me, it's not good as an event, but the idea of making sure there's always legendary raids on between 12 and 1, or in my opinion 12 and 2, because I don't know about other countries, but we tend to stagger lunch times. Having legendary raids available during those times as a guarantee would be great, because then, as I've said before, people who can't raid during office hours or even after work at least have a chance of getting the raid, not on a weekend. So yeah, kind of a lackluster event. I wish it was just a spawn policy. A little bit of news for me, I now have YouTube channel memberships, hooray! So you'll see a join button down there next to subscribe. Those of you who want to support me through the time-honored tradition of cash, may do so. There is more detail on how channel memberships work in a separate video, which I've also posted. You'll probably see it in your channel subscriptions, so I won't go into detail of it here. But yeah, so that's a new thing. And that's really it for big news in Pokemon Go this week. I got my shiny Matchop, so I'm pretty happy about that. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you very much. Goodbye!